Chapter 58. Jason. So it was a storm day. Auster, the Roman version of the South Wind, was holding court. The previous 2 days, Jason had dealt with Notice. While the god's Greek version was fiery and quick to anger, at least he was quick. Auster, well, not so much. White and red marble columns lined the throne. The rough sandstone floor smoked under Jason's shoes. Steam hung in the air like the bathhouse back at Camp Jupiter. Except bathhouses didn't usually have thunderstorms crackling across the ceiling, lighting the room in disorienting flashes. Southern Venti swirled through the hall in clouds of red dust and superheated air. Jason was careful to stay away from them. On his first day here, he'd accidentally brushed his hand through one. He'd gotten so many blisters his fingers looked like tentacles. At the end of the room was the strangest throne that Jason had ever seen, made of equal parts fire and water. The dais was a bonfire. Flames and smoke curled up to form a seat. The back of the chair was a churning storm cloud. The armrests sizzled where moisture met fire. It didn't look very comfortable, but the god Auster lounged on it like he was ready for an easy afternoon of watching football. Standing up, he would have been about 10 feet tall. A crown of steam wreathed his shaggy white head. His beard was made of clouds, constantly popping with lightning and raining down on the god's chest, soaking his sand-colored toga. Jason wondered if you could save a thundercloud beard. He thought it might be annoying to rain on yourself all the time, but Auster didn't seem to care. He reminded Jason of a soggy Santa Claus, but maybe more lazy than jolly.
So,
the god's voice rumbled like an oncoming front.
The son of Jupiter returns.
Auster made it sound like Jason was late. Jason was tempted to remind the stupid wind god that he'd spent hours outside every day waiting to be called, but he just bowed.
My lord,
he said,
have you received any news of my friend? Friend?
Leo Valdez. Jason tried to stay patient.
The one who was taken by the winds. Oh, yes. Or rather, no. We have had no word. He was not taken by my winds. No doubt this was the work of Boreas or his spawn.
Yeah, we knew that.
That is the only reason I took you in, of course.
Auster's eyebrows rose in his wreath of steam.
Boreas must be opposed. The north winds must be driven back.
Yes, my lord. But to oppose Boreas, we really need to get the ship out of the harbor.
Ship in the harbor?
The god leaned back and chuckled, rain pouring out of his beard.
You know the last time mortal ships came into my harbor? A king of Libya. Piolos was his name. He blamed me for scorching winds that burned his crops. Can you believe it?
Jason gritted his teeth. He'd learned that Auster couldn't be rushed. In his rainy form, he was sluggish and warm and random. Did you burn those crops, my lord?
Of course.
Auster smiled good-naturedly.
But what did Piolos expect? Planting crops at the edge of the Sahara? The fool launched his entire fleet against me. He intended to destroy my stronghold so the south wind could never blow again. I destroyed his fleet, of course.
Of course. Auster narrowed his eyes.
You aren't with Piolos, are you?
No, Lord Auster. I'm Jason Grace, son of
Jupiter. Ah, yes, of course. I like sons of Jupiter. But why are you still in my harbor?
Jason suppressed a sigh. We don't have your permission to leave, my lord. Also, our ship is damaged. We need our mechanic Leo Valdez to repair the engine. Unless you know another way. Auster held up his fingers and let a dust devil swirl between them like a baton.
You know, people accuse me of being fickle. Some days I'm the scorching wind, the destroyer of crops, the sirocco from Africa. Other days I am gentle, heralding the warm winter rains and cooling fogs in the southern Mediterranean. And in the far-off season, I have a lovely palace in Cancun. At any rate, in ancient times mortals both feared and loved me. For a god, unpredictability can be a strength.
Then you're truly strong. Jason said.
Yes, thank you. But the same is not true of demigods.